So I'm now in the A35 van that I've been doing the hydraulic clutch and brake conversion on, and that's pretty much what you'll see when you're in there. It's more involved than you may think it is, because as you can see, I've had to remove the original throttle pedal because that gets in the way of the pedal box. So we've got a modified mini accelerator, which is actually really nice to use. Clutch, really nice feel to it, really nice feel. Brakes, that's it. Everything is in the right place where you'd expect them to be. Excuse my dirty shoes, but I've been working. So yeah, they've all bled up nicely. You can even heel and toe if you want to. So that's that. Oh, you heard I've left the original handbrake on the car because the customer's going to remove that himself, but that is redundant now. So we've got the new handbrake in the middle of the car, and you'll see the cable going through there, and it actually goes through the bulkhead just behind there. And there's the adjuster as well, so you can adjust and the handbrake is like a proper modern car handbrake, and it will stop the car as well. Fabulous. So that's that. At the back end it's all boxed up now, but it's all midget parts. So midget back plates, cylinders, shoes, cylinders, the whole lot. Everything at the back end is midget. It bolts on. Then we have obviously the copper brake pipes. We use a stainless braided air-equipped hoses, flexible hoses on it. At the front, you saw all the parts earlier in the previous video: discs, calipers, front hubs, kingpins, stub axles, brake pipes. Now this car we had to take the engine out of to convert to hydraulic clutch, and I must admit it took longer than I expected it to, because I've never done one with a without the lugs on the gearbox. We'll come to that in a minute. There's the pedal box sitting there quite nicely. You'll also see that we're using a small battery on it, which is actually far more powerful than the big one that's on there. That's because the big lump of a battery would normally sit there. Throttle cable comes through down there, just a standard throttle cable. However, then have to modify the linkage, make a linkage so that the carburetor will open and return properly. So that's not a 5-minute job. You have to deal with that. Making the hydraulic clutch works involved modifying the original clutch fork, making it part midget, part A35. It also involved making bracketry to support the slave cylinder to the gearbox casing correctly. If you're using a 1275 or 1098 gearbox, you haven't got any of that problem at all, because everything's in the right place. But it all works. It works fabulously. This car, we've had new shock absorbers on it as well. This was about a week's work for me, taking the engine out, putting it back in, doing a little bit of work on the engine, not much at all. All the brake pipes, fitting the pedal box takes you about half a day to get that in there, because there's a certain amount of adjustment that you need to do when you're assembling it and putting it all in there, and it is a bit of a pain in the arse, but you just have to get on and do it. So that's it. It's proper brakes, so it'll behave like a modern car almost, and still got the original engine. We haven't detracted from the original looks of the vehicle. To all intents and purposes, it's just an A35 van. However, it's now an A35 van that actually stops. So if you want to jump out in front of it on a zebra crossing, feel free. We'll stop this time. Wouldn't give you much chance before with the funny old brakes it had on it originally.